how you feel about the people that been pushing the narrative? And I've been hearing this for a while now, man, for years. How you feel about the people that say that Death Row made Tupac?
I don't, I would say that before, well, man, everybody might know before Pac went to Death Row, he was already big. He was already selling millions. You know what I mean? He was already an actor. He was already selling millions of records. He was already, a superstar. Pac was already a superstar. I think Death Row did add to, his celebrity status, the same way he added to Death Row. You know what I mean? I think they pushed each other because Death Row was already a big record label as far as the records, the rappers they had on it. Pac was already coming as his own star. You know what I mean? So I think they just complemented each other. That's all. Pac was already big. Death Row was already big. They complemented each other. Pac did sell more records when he went on Death Row. But he was already a platinum selling artist for sure.
Yeah, that's facts. I mean, he was a platinum artist before he went to Death Row. I even did some research right now, and I went to the website where, they give you the plaque when you go to platinum. And yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and they got Tupac down as a platinum artist before he went to
For
Death
sure.
Row. They say that Me Against the World and Strictly for My Niggas went platinum before Tupac went to Death Row. And not to mention, he was in big movies too. So
Choose, Poetic Justice. Now, Pac was already known. I think they complemented each other. I think I haven't seen it all, but I seen a few, clips from Daz, saying some stuff. But I'm gonna keep it real, bro. I think just that for clarification, because I don't I wouldn't say Daz and Corrupt and them was hating on Pac. I'm gonna just be honest, you know what I mean? And I'm more close to Corrupt than Daz, of course. Like, you know what I mean? Daz, we always the same. We was around, but I definitely wouldn't say that they was hating on Pac. These two, you know what I mean? Because like Daz said that they was giving him beats. They really was on it like that. They really was coming in the studio, Daz and Corrupt, and they was excited to be on songs and they was excited to get Pac beats and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So just to clarify that, but and even Dre, I can't even say, if Dre, I don't, everybody can say what they want, but Dre wasn't even around like that. I think he was already Dre. He was in the cut. He wasn't coming in the studio really. So I don't think he probably had anything. And I wouldn't even be saying that about Snoop if it wasn't for like the interviews and stuff he be saying. I wouldn't even be able to look back at it and say, well, Snoop, from the way he was moving, he had something against the pot. I started saying this when I started seeing these interviews and the stuff he was saying. You know what I mean? But back then, even though we had our differences as far as we started just hanging in our studio, they was hanging in a studio, Corrupt and Daz, they really did have a lot of love for Pac. I'm gonna keep it real. We gotta keep it real.
yeah, that's real talk, man. And that's the reason why I didn't say Dad's name, because I wasn't trying to point him out. Because I know a lot of people that been saying that over the years and pushing that narrative. But I
Yeah,
do agree when it comes to Dads and Corrupt. I can't think of one time that they
exactly.
said anything suspect about Pac. They always show him love. You could tell they got love for Pac.
Yeah. So and just to clarify, even with Snoop, like I said, I don't know what's in the heart of a man. Only God knows what's in the heart of a man. I can't say if he was jealous. I just know his interviews and the way he speak on Pac is not how a homie speak on his dead homie. You know what I mean? You don't think of you try to you don't try to show your homie in a negative light because he's dead. He's not here to even defend himself. Okay, when you have enemies talking about Pac, everybody talk about everybody have their opinion. So when you see people who just don't like Pac and they're online, that's their opinion. We can't jump and get mad at everybody who have this opinion. You know what I mean? But if you his friend and you're supposed to be his homie, you should not be speaking negative about him while he's not here. I can't say nothing about Daz or Corrupt or Dre because they always had love for Pac. You know what I mean? People might have their own opinion. I never heard Dre speak bad about Pac, even after Pac dissed him. You know what I mean? Like he never said nothing bad about Pac. Pac did songs against him. And Daz and Corrupt, they love Pac. I remember like how I used to see how they interact in the studio with Pac. So, I think they really have genuine love for him.
Yeah, I agree. Just me thinking about some of the comments that Snoop made about Pac over the years,
Yeah.
man. Like when you say stuff like, hit 'em up, I never thought that song was all that. I don't know, man. That's a little weird to make a comment about that, about, somebody that you called a friend,
Yeah.
you know.
That's what just threw me off. Just, you know what I mean? Just from what I hear in this interview, it just had me, you know what I mean? And I know nobody's picking on Snoop and want to come on and keep talking about him. But it is what it is. It's just that you don't, if you got love for an individual and he died, you're not going to be throwing him under the bus. You're not gonna be saying nothing negative about him, even if, you might have something to say, but you still gonna say, well, you know what, he been dead, man. Let me just not even say anything. You feel me? But back to people saying that Death Row made Pop. I could, he sold more records when he was on Death Row. You know what I mean? So people might look at it from that standpoint of view, where they might say, well, he wasn't selling 20 million records until, I think they both complemented each other because they was able to promote Pop the way he needed to be promoted. You know what I mean? He was able to go to Suge and say, I need this marketing, I need this. And he had full backing when he was on Death Row. So he didn't have that on Interscope. Interscope was always, they wasn't really allow him to really like clip his wings and go freely. Death Row, they wanted him like, bro, this is what you want to do. You want to do it? Go ahead. You know what I mean? So, but to be fair, he definitely sold more records on Death Row. But man, Pac was the biggest. He was already a big superstar. He was already, you know what I mean, a platinum selling artist. He was already in some of the biggest movies. And take that from him.
And if we being honest, even though Tupac sold the most with All Eyes on Me, most people would say Tupac's best body of work is Me Against the World. And you got some people that would say that Machiavelli is better than All Eyes on Me. Even me, I'll say that.
Yeah, he was different. Yeah, it is what it is. You have some, and I think he was going through different stages of life when he was doing Me Against the World. He was at another stage of life with All Eyes on Me. And when he did Machiavelli, he was heated but calm. Like All Eyes on Me, I would say he was more, he fresh out of jail, so heated. Machiavelli, he was a little more calm and a little strategic. You know what I mean? And he was just growing.